Assalamu alaikum everyone. We are going to start the series of lectures on hepatology or the liver disorders. Today our topic of discussion is very interesting, that is liver function test, how we can interpret the liver function test in the lab reports. So let us start with the liver physiology. What are the main functions of liver? Liver is very important in the synthesis of various proteins like albumin and the various coagulation factors, transferrin protein and protein inhibitors as well, that is alpha 1 antitrypsin as well as ceruloplasmin protein. It is also responsible for the metabolism of carbohydrates, that is deposition of glycogen in the liver, as well as in the protein and lipid metabolism. Liver has also immune function. It has the Kupffer cells, which are actually the macrophages, resides in the liver. It also has excretory functions. It is responsible for the excretion of bile salts, bilirubin, phospholipids, cholesterol and drugs. It also stores iron, copper, vitamin A, vitamin D and vitamin B12. So what are liver function tests? LFTs are commonly ordered blood tests that are used to evaluate the liver function, the liver damage and the biliary system functions. So these all are the enzymes and various synthetic functions which we can interpret in the LFTs. So let's start with the hepatic enzymes, that is AST, aspartate aminotransferase, ALT, alanine aminotransferase and gamma GT, gamma glutamyl transpeptidase. These are the various enzymes which are hepatic in origin, and from the bile canalicular membrane the alkaline phosphatase is found in bile canalicular membrane. The synthetic functions, as we have discussed previously, the liver synthesizes the albumin protein and also synthesizes various clotting factors or coagulation factors which are responsible for this PTINR, that is prothrombin time. In the excretory function, liver is responsible for the excretion of bilirubin. So let's start all these parameters one by one. AST and ALT. In AST, the normal value is 10 to 45 units per liter. AST is not specific for liver. It is also found in heart, skeletal muscles, red blood cells and the kidneys. The AST levels are above the normal when there is any hepatocellular disease, any biliary disease, as well as rhabdomyolysis, that is breakdown of skeletal muscles, and acute MI, that is myocardial infarction, and hemolysis, that is breakdown of RBCs. Now come to the ALT. It is more predominantly found in the liver, so it is more specific for liver diseases than AST. The normal value is 10 to 50 units per liter. It is elevated in any hepatocellular disease like autoimmune hepatitis, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, drugs, ethanol and fatty liver, and any growing tumor in the liver, and hemodynamic states like congestive cardiac failure, excessive deposition of iron in hemochromatosis, and Wilson's disease, excessive deposition of copper in the liver, or it may be elevated in any biliary disease. Remember the causes of increased transaminases. If there is minor elevation, that is less than 100 units per liter of transaminases, either ALT or AST, these are the various causes like chronic hepatitis B or chronic hepatitis C, fatty liver and hemochromatosis. But if there is moderately elevation of transaminases like 100 to 300 units per liter, it may be due to alcoholic hepatitis, autoimmune hepatitis and Wilson's disease. But if there is major elevation, that is very high levels of transaminases, ALT or AST, greater than 300 units per liter, it may be due to drug toxicity like excessive dose of paracetamol or any toxins, acute viral hepatitis and ischemic liver diseases, and flare of chronic hepatitis B. This AST to ALT ratio is very important in the interpretation of the liver functions. If the ALT is much more higher than AST, it indicates the hepatocellular damage. But if the AST and ALT ratio is greater than 2, it means that the AST is 2 times more than ALT. It indicates alcoholic hepatitis, hepatitis of alcoholic origin. If AST to ALT ratio is more than 5, it means that very high levels of AST as compared to ALT, high levels of AST as compared to ALT. It indicates the acute myocardial infarction, and rhabdomyolysis means that the increased AST levels are because of non-hepatic origin from the heart or from the muscles. Now come to the other parameters, alkaline phosphatase and gamma GT. Alkaline phosphatase normal levels are 40 to 125 units per liter. It is found in the bile canalicular membrane in the liver as well as in the GIT, placenta and the bones. So if its levels are high, it is important for cholestatic pattern, mean obstructive pattern in the biliary tract if its levels are elevated. So when its levels are elevated, when there is any biliary pathology and when any biliary tract pathology like any gallstones or choledocholithiasis or stones in the biliary tract or cholangiocarcinoma or cholangitis like ascending cholangitis, as well as pancreatic head tumor which is suppressing the this biliary tract. So all these pathologies, alkaline phosphatase levels are high. As well as it is also increased in bone turnover. When there is increased bone turnover like in hyperthyroidism, in hyperparathyroidism, as well as in the Paget's disease of bone or any other bone disorder, alkaline phosphatase levels are high. As well as we have discussed previously that its level, they are also released from placenta. So in the normal pregnancy, alkaline phosphatase levels are also high. Now come to gamma glutamyl transpeptidase, which is normally in male 10 to 55 units per liter and in female its normal value is 5 to 35 units per liter. Gamma glutamyl transferase levels are high in case of biliary pathology, in hepatocellular diseases and in alcohol abuse. Remember, the most important thing here is it is important to confirm that the alkaline phosphatase is of hepatobiliary origin. So this chart is very important. If the alkaline phosphate levels are severely elevated and gamma GT is also elevated, the diagnosis is biliary disease. If the alkaline phosphatase levels are elevated and gamma GT levels are normal, it means that this alkaline phosphatase level is not of the hepatobiliary origin. It may comes from the bone. So diagnosis is any bone disease. If the alkaline phosphatase levels are normal and gamma GT is elevated, it means that there is alcohol abuse. But here remember, the AST to ALT ratio is very important if you are diagnosing the patient of alcohol abuse or alcoholic hepatitis. Now come to the other parameters, albumin levels. Albumin and as well as PT-INR, prothrombin time and international normalized ratio. These two parameters are very important for the synthetic function of the liver. These are also included in liver function tests. Albumin levels in the normal range are 3.5 to 5 gram per deciliter. Albumin levels are usually below normal when there is chronic liver disease due to decreased synthesis, chronic liver disease as well as malnutrition, and it may be due to low because of increased loss of albumin in the nephrotic syndrome and protein loss in enteropathy. Now come to PT-INR. PT-INR is elevated in the liver diseases. Prothrombin time is a measure of extrinsic pathway of the clotting which is dependent on the clotting factors produced by the liver. So decreased synthesis of clotting factors increases the prothrombin time. Due to decreased synthesis of clotting factors which are commonly seen in chronic liver diseases, vitamin K deficiency and anticoagulant drugs like warfarin, heparin and rivaroxaban, etc. So other reasons are increased consumption of clotting factors or coagulation factors like disseminated intravascular coagulation. These two parameters are important for chronic liver diseases. Now come to the other parameter, that is bilirubin level. It is also very important parameter. It is important for the excretory function of the liver. The total bilirubin levels are up to 1 mg per deciliter. So let us discuss the little bit physiology. When the RBC break down, the hemoglobin got break into the heme as well as globin proteins. This heme converted into biliverdin, and this biliverdin by the help of enzyme converted into unconjugated or indirect bilirubin. When this unconjugated or indirect bilirubin passes through the liver, glucouronic acid in the liver binds with this unconjugated bilirubin, and then this is called conjugated or direct bilirubin. When there is total hyperbilirubinemia, that is increase in direct as well as indirect bilirubin, then it indicates any diffuse hepatic or biliary pathology. Now come to the etiologies of increased indirect bilirubin or unconjugated bilirubin. Indirect bilirubin is high when it is more than 85% of total normal bilirubin levels, total bilirubin levels. The indirect bilirubin is high when there is hemolysis is going on in the blood, that is like sickle cell anemia or thalassemia major. It is also high in the indirect bilirubin is also high in some genetic disorders like Gilbert syndrome and Crigler-Najjar syndrome. And now come to direct hyperbilirubinemia. The normal value of direct bilirubin is up to 0.3 mg per deciliter. We will consider this as direct hyperbilirubinemia when the levels are greater than 20% of total bilirubin. So it is increased, the total direct bilirubin is increased in early or mild biliary system disease as well as some genetic disorders like Dubin-Johnson and Rotter syndrome. If the direct bilirubin is below 20% of the total bilirubin, it means that the indirect bilirubin is more than 80% of the total. So that indirect hyperbilirubinemia, it indicates hemolytic jaundice. But if the direct bilirubin is 20 to 40% of the total bilirubin, it indicates any hepatocellular jaundice. If the direct bilirubin is more than 50% of the total bilirubin levels, it indicates obstructive or cholestatic pattern, that is post-hepatic jaundice. There is obstruction in the biliary tract. If AST as well as ALT levels are high along with direct hyperbilirubinemia, it indicates hepatocellular jaundice because ALT and AST are also high. If the instead of ALT and AST, alkaline phosphatase and gamma GT levels are high along with direct hyperbilirubinemia, it indicates cholestatic pattern or post-hepatic jaundice, that is any obstruction in the biliary tract. Now after, if the derangement in the liver function test is found, then the doctor prescribed some specific liver function test like HBsAg, which is a viral antigen test for hepatitis B, anti-HCV, which is antibody test for hepatitis C virus, as well as ferritin levels, ferritin for the hemochromatosis, and alpha-1 antitrypsin for alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, and seroplasmin levels for Wilson's disease, in which there is excessive deposition of copper in the liver, and some autoimmune antibodies like anti-nuclear antibody and anti-mitochondrial antibodies for autoimmune hepatitis. So this was all about the liver function test. So let us discuss some scenarios so that you can understand this very easily. If the AST levels are high along with ALT levels are markedly elevated, and alkaline phosphatase levels are also high and gamma GT is high, but remember alkaline phosphatase levels here are very high, it indicates hepatocellular damage, hepatocellular damage. But if AST levels are 2 times higher than ALT, means AST to ALT ratio is 2:1, and alkaline phosphatase levels are normal and as well as gamma GT levels are also high, it indicates alcoholic hepatitis, hepatitis of alcoholic origin. Now if the AST levels are high and ALT levels are also high, but alkaline phosphatase levels are markedly elevated and gamma GT levels are also high, it indicates cholestatic pattern, means lack of bile flow or post-hepatic jaundice, cholestatic pattern. But in this case, if AST levels are normal, ALT levels are normal, alkaline phosphatase are markedly elevated as well as gamma GT is also normal, it indicates that this alkaline phosphatase is of non-hepatic origin. There is any bone disease and also rule out pregnancy. If AST and ALT are normal or mildly elevated, but albumin and albumin levels are low and PT-INR levels are very high, as we have discussed previously, it indicates chronic liver disease like cirrhosis, etc. So this was all about liver function test. Thank you so much for watching this video.